I think the conference has an apt theme. It is a need of the hour, right? I mean, as one of the speakers earlier said, right? I mean, there was a computerization revolution. Now there is AI revolution, right? And so having a conference like to this, it reminds me of aerospace, right? In 1940s, right? Everybody was building planes and bombs, right? And the country that had the fastest plane will win. Right, so the country that has the best analytics will, I think, win the future. That is my take. So having a conference in India with this theme is very good. So at Uber, I mean, analytics is a very broad term. At the end of the day, everything that we do at Uber is some sort of a data-driven decision. It's some sort of form of analytics. Right, be it dispatching a car, be it measuring ETA, be it measuring how many trips will happen, supply, demand. So everything is based on analytics, right? Be it I mean, I would elaborate here is like we can classify analytics into three branches, right? One is business intelligence, which is like what has happened in the past, and tell me that, right? Tell me that very quickly. And the other is some sort of a prediction. Insights, sorry, like, okay, now that I have historical data, tell me if I can get some insights from it. The third is, can I predict the future, right? And then those three are very different part in spectrum, right? And so we at Uber try to do in all three buckets, right? Getting to know what is done in the past very quickly, deriving some insights, and getting very good at predicting the future. I think data is characterized by like 5 V's, right? Like velocity, veracity, and so I think if you talk about speed, it becomes really challenging if you want to get insights in near real time. The way I put it like that is it's not you need to know what you want from data, but you need to ask a fundamental question like what is it that you're trying to achieve. Right, I mean, a problem of reporting what has happened in the past is a different problem than if you want to make a prediction about the future in near real time. They're two different problems, right? And so defining what you want from data becomes very important. And once you have that, I want to know a trip. I want to know as soon as the trip gets over, I want to know everything about the trip, right? And so that could be a solvable problem. But if you tell me, okay, now given this trip has happened, tell me what was going to impact on the next trip, that's a much more harder problem, right? And so defining, I think, is much more important, and that helps you streamline the organization. Uber has decided to invest heavily in India, and so we will be hiring a lot of data scientists in India. And part of the reason is because we see India as a strategic market, and also because of the talent here, right? I mean, we see India as an upcoming market, and we see India as the talent in India, thanks to IITs and all the data science conferences which has happened in India. We see they have a right mixture of science and storytelling in India, and so that is how we view India as, right? And so we will be hiring a lot of people in India, right? And so it's a good news for data scientists in India. I was in one of the boardroom discussions earlier in the day, and I think the fundamental thing Indian corporations have grown because of very strong business intuition, right? Like, you think about Birlas, you think about Tatas, you think about Reliance, right? I don't think they had data and they took decision. They're like, okay, there's a need to solve a problem, and if I was doing this thought exercise. Like if I go to, say, Mukesh Ambani and say, you know what, Mukesh, I know how to run Reliance, he will probably laugh at me, right? And so the hardest problem in India is not science. It is how do you break this ice? Like, why should somebody believe in you? Data science, even though the field of AI has been there for long, the field of data science is new. So how can you, this random guy walks in with a PhD with no real world experience, comes to you and says, you know what, I think you should stop doing what you're doing. Can you just use my algorithm? There's no guarantee it will work or not, but I want to use it. So I think that is a major challenge, right? How do you break the ice? And part of the answer is that there has to be all the chief data officers in India have to play the role of evangelists. They have to educate. Like, I have to educate people, like, look, you know what, this is how we should do. And as a chief data officer, you need to take risks. You can't just let the risk on the sales team or operations team and just make a fat check, right? And so that is how I think the game will be won. And so that is my take. No, in spite of jet lag, I'm awake, right? And the reason is because, look, sitting in San Francisco, what is happening in India, these are the best conferences that you come to and you get to know what is going on in India. And I think you guys have put together a very diverse set of audience, right? You have Amazon, you have Flipkart, you have Birlas, you have Piramals, right? You have Accenture, right? You have everybody, you have banks, finances, everybody under the same roof. And you get to see this diversity in the way data science is being used in India. And so if I think of coming back to India, I now know what is going on in India as opposed to doing so. So thank you for putting this together.